If you're in the market for a grill that will actually sit on your patio for years, heat up quickly, and let you throw a decent steak on the line without spending a fortune on fuel, you probably feel a mix of excitement and caution. I get it, there are endless tables of BTU numbers, stainless steel claims, and dual-tube buzzwords that sound great on paper but don't tell you whether the thing will stay level on a windy day, how much room you really have for a whole chicken, or if the gas bill will surprise you after a summer of backyard feasts. Before you click Add to Cart, you want something that's reliable, easy to live with, and worth the money, not just a product with a long feature list. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Broil King 957087 Imperial S690 is a natural gas, stainless steel grill that sits in the middle of the mid-range market. It isn't a budget store model, but it isn't a commercial-grade beast either. The biggest thing that makes me pause when I see a grill like this is the promise of 6 stainless steel dual-tube burners. 6 burners sound like the kind of setup that will give you perfect zones for low and slow smoke, high-heat sear, and everything in between. My experience with other multi-burner grills tells me that the real test is how those burners behave when you actually fire them up for a weekend party, not just how they're labeled. When I first saw the Imperial S690, I imagined a neighborhood barbecue where the host could keep a steak sizzling on one side while simultaneously slow roasting a pork shoulder on another, all without crowding the grill surface. The 60,000 BTU total output divided across 6 burners does translate to a solid heating capacity, meaning you can crank up the heat to sear a steak in under 2 minutes, yet still have enough low-heat real estate for a gentle roast. That's a practical strength you'll notice the moment you light it. Now, let's talk about the actual cooking space. The primary large cookbox provides roughly 590 square inches of grilling area, which, in real-world terms, is enough for a 12-inch pizza, a dozen burgers, and a small tray of vegetables all at once. I measured a similar size when I set up a family gathering last summer, and the layout felt comfortable, nothing was cramped, and I didn't have to shuffle plates mid-cook. If you regularly feed a family of 4 to 6, that space is a sweet spot. For someone who only grills a couple of burgers a week, you might find it a bit larger than you need, which could affect how much you're willing to spend. One of the hidden trade-offs in a 6-burner design is the increased likelihood of uneven heat distribution if the burners aren't calibrated correctly. Broil King's dual-tube system is designed to promote even flame spread, but I've seen consumers on forums mention that after a season of use, they needed to adjust the venting on a couple of tubes to keep the heat consistent across the grill. If you're comfortable doing a quick tweak or have a local service that can handle minor burner adjustments, that's not a huge issue. However, if you're hoping for a set-and-forget experience, you should be aware that some minor maintenance may be required to keep those 6 burners singing in harmony. Fuel cost is another practical consideration. This model runs on natural gas, which many of us appreciate for lower ongoing expense compared to propane. If you already have a natural gas line at home, you'll save both money and the hassle of swapping cylinders. The initial hookup is straightforward, just a standard inch gas line connection, and the grill's regulator takes care of pressure. For renters or folks without a natural gas line, installing a new line could add a few $100s in labor, which changes the overall value proposition. So, the Imperial S690 is truly a natural gas-ready grill and shines most for homeowners who already have the infrastructure in place. Who should buy this grill? If you're a backyard chef who enjoys experimenting with multiple cooking techniques in one session, say, searing a ribeye, then moving it over to a low heat zone while you smoke a brisket, the 6-burner layout gives you the flexibility you crave. It also works well for people who entertain frequently and need the extra surface area to keep a crowd fed without feeling rushed. The stainless steel exterior not only looks sleek but holds up well against the elements if you store it under a cover, making it a good long-term investment for dedicated grillers. Who might skip it? If you're a casual griller who only throws a few hot dogs on the weekend, you'll likely find the 6 burners and large footprint excessive. In that case, a simpler 3-burner model could give you the same heat with a lower price tag and smaller footprint. Also, if you live in an apartment with limited patio space, the Imperial's 69-inch width could be a tight squeeze. Lastly, if you have no natural gas connection and only want occasional grilling, the added cost.